Hello YouTube modeling community. Welcome to Morris Custom Model Shop. James Morris here, saying God bless all here as always. Here's Fluffy. She's come say hello today. This is an answer to all the videos everybody's been making about how I got started into the hobby of model building. My nearest sibling is a sister, is 10 years older than me. So when I was about 7, she got married. Her first husband was an avid model builder and a great model builder. One of the best men with a paintbrush I ever saw. He'd lay on wide white walls using the ring that you put on to a baby bottle nipple. Just put it down over the tire and paint the white walls. Even back then, back in the late 50s, early 60s. I admired his models for a long time whenever I got around to seeing them, and wanted to build some, but didn't have anybody around that built them besides my desire. I tried an airplane when I was about 7 and wound up with the wings on backwards and everything else. Is a mess. But one day he came home with her, and he brought me a AMT 49 Ford that had set up behind the back seat of his car and kind of melted, looked like it had been rolled over, and a water bucket full of parts from all those 3-in-1 and style line, custom line kits that he had built. Just a whole bucket full of stuff. And that's how I started out, was putting leftover parts together, trying to build a car out of parts, kind of like a junkyard. Then I'd get when I could get one, I'd get a kit and, build it, always adding parts to it. I never built anything stock. I added, my idea of a car was the bigger the motor and the wider the tires, the better it was. And that's the way I built them. Even back then, I come up with the widest tires I could find and the wildest motor I could find. I stayed into that from the age of 7 until about 18. I got out of high school. I got married. Went to Chicago to work steel for a while, so I got rid of everything I had here in Virginia and left, went up there. Well, when I couldn't make it up there, I came back and started back into it as soon as I could give up enough money to buy a kit. Modeling is probably the only thing that's never been unfaithful or left me over the years. It's always been there for me, and I've always come back to it, maybe taking a little while off here and there because I didn't have a place to build. Been through 2 divorces, and you guys that's been through that knows that you lose a lot of things during those, not just material things, but a lot of other things. But I've stuck with it pretty well continuous for the last 55 years, something like that, and still enjoy it. Got a good collection of kits that I hope to live to build. I don't know if I will or not. As I told y'all in my last video, I went back to work in the meat department. It's been 25 years since I've done meat work, and I've discovered just how out of shape I was. I've got sore places where I didn't even know I had places. So, but I've been back into modeling, like I say, pretty much continuous since 72, I guess. I got out of cars in the late 70s, early 80s, because I was bored with all the offerings that was coming out. It was the same kit with different decals and different box art. But then I went into aircraft, armor, ships, stuff like that. I had a friend that was into that at that time, and he got me into the armor stuff, so I built those for a few years. Then in the early 90s, they came out with I think the first really good kit was the 66 Nova. And I got a good look at that one, and that put me right back into model cars again. So all the tanks and armor and aircraft just went into the pile, and started building cars again. Then in the late 90s, I got into NASCARs, started building those, and built a lot of those. I call my model shop the Morris Custom Model Shop because I've always done something different to everything I've ever built to make it my own, to make it different from everybody else's. It's always custom to me. That's what I've tried to teach my grandsons when they build. Put something in there, even if it's painting one piece a different color than what everybody paints it. Do something to make it yours. To bring out that creativity, to bring out that desire to be different. On the NASCARs, I'll do something in the engine compartment, paint the engine a different color, or something like that, just to make it different, to make it mine alone. Of course, with NASCAR, if you look through all the different cars and all the different races, you're probably going to run into it anyway, because they never stay the same. These guys that argue over color and over placement of certain parts or brands of certain items, there's no use in that. Every one of them's different. Every race is different. That's just like armor. These armor guys argue over colors. You take any two tanks and set them in the sun, and they're different colors in just a few days. So, yeah, that's just foolishness. The only people that really know exactly what color a certain one was there was the ones that was inside of it, driving around. And they really didn't care about the color. Anyway, that's how I got started. I've been into it now since 1960, and just still enjoy it. I got into YouTube about 4 years ago. Now, Fluffy, you're not operating the camera, so quit knocking it around. I got into it 3 or 4 years ago and started making some videos. First picked up Dr. Cranky and Fast Jimmy and CT. Then found Chevy Cheeseburger, and it's just grown from there. I don't know how many different channels I've subscribed to. I've got a wall full of shop cars, but for those of you that I don't have or don't have mine, I have got plenty of shop cards on hand. If you're interested in swapping shop cards or just want one of mine, just let me know. All you gotta do is let me know. I'll be happy to send you one. But that's how I got started into it, and I will stay in it as long as I'm able to do it. I've always loved history. I've always loved things from the past, antiques. Just very interested in how things worked, how things were in the early part of the 20th century. And I love going to tractor shows and car shows and air shows, anything that deals with old equipment. That's about all for right now. I'm getting started here. I'm about to get lined out to where I can start doing something in the evening besides sleeping when I get home from work. So hopefully I'll get started on my builds for Atlanta here real soon and get those up and ready. Still planning on making it down there this year, and can't wait to see everybody again. For now, that's about all I can tell you. J.E. signing off, and God bless y'all, and I'll see you later.